Let's get over to Randy real quick. And I know he's been hanging on for quite some time. So let's get over to Randy from Pickens. He wants to talk about Dabo Swinney's press conference. And let's see if we can pull him on now. I don't know if you'll be able to hear him or not. But Randy, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Randy, welcome back to the show. I appreciate you getting a call in. 864-772-6674 if you want to call in. But Randy, the floor is yours, my man. What you got to talk about?
Well, I want to kind of switch gears on you. I want to talk a little Clemson basketball.
Okay, yeah.
Coming off a good win over Colgate. Over the years, I've kind of gotten frustrated with Brownell, and I don't know if anybody caught it this morning. He called into the Packer and Durham show, and he kind of called in anonymously, and he just come in as Brad from South Carolina, but they called on pretty soon who it was. And I'm going to tell you, I kind of got a renewed respect for the guy. That guy, one thing about it, he loves Clemson. Everything about it. And I tell you, after listening to him this morning, I really believe we're going to see some good things out of the Tigers this year. I don't know what your opinion is, but
yeah, I appreciate that, man. I that was really what I was going to get into in segment number 3, but let's go ahead and get it started on that. Sure. Because, we broke down last week the basketball schedule from each month. And I know the Virginia Tech was a loss and it was a tough first game to lose. They hung with them, and I don't think anybody expected. I can't even remember the player's name, but man, he scored. He was a true freshman that scored 30 points on the Tigers, yeah. And like Walt Deptula said, that guy's going to score 30 points on a lot of people this year. Really good point guard there, and I think I always love when you get a leader of the team, kind of that general at the point. If you have that, you can go really far. But Clemson ended up losing that game. They turn it around. They had some problems shooting. They had some big problems with the free throw line. But then they turn it around 2 days later and they win against Presbyterian. And then, like you said, they beat Colgate, which a Colgate team is a team that went to the NCAA tournament. So they're not a team to just say, oh, that's a mid-major that Clemson got a win over and we just ignore. That was a good win. And it was a good, hard-fought win because it was tied with, I believe, like 6 minutes to go at 62-62. So I think that was a good win. Those are the games that Clemson has to win, though. Mm-hmm. The Virginia Tech wasn't necessarily a have to win. It was a good win if they would have gotten it. But I think November is still a success if they beat Detroit Mercy on November 17th. If they beat Alabama A&M, which I think those are two good winnable games there. And then they get to go to Las Vegas. So there's 2 home games, and then they get to travel to Las Vegas for that end of November Thanksgiving timeframe tournament. They're going to play TCU, which is a good Big 12 team. Mm-hmm. Wyoming and Colorado, 2 really good teams there, or Wyoming or Colorado, whoever wins that game. So to be honest with you, I think that Clemson has a good chance to finish November strong, even with 1 loss. And I'm really still projecting them to have 1 loss after November, which is really the best we could have expected. I mean, the best we could have expected is undefeated, but with only 1 loss going into December, I think that's nothing to blow your nose at.
Yeah, I think as a fan base, we kind of old with Oliver Purnell with the fast 22-0 starts, and as Clemson fans, we weren't used to that. But give Brownell at least a couple more years, I say, and after that, we'll talk about it. But for now, let's see what he can do. I'm going to get off of here. Always enjoy the show, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers for sure. Thank you again, Randy, for calling in. If you want to get in, 864-772-6674. We appreciate it. You can let your voice be heard on the show and be featured in our YouTube channel and on Facebook for sure. So appreciate that. Again, Randy, been a long-time fan. Al, what was your thoughts on that? I know I gave you my thoughts. What are you thinking about the Clemson basketball team?
Yeah, look, the Virginia Tech game was a big disappointment. I mean, Virginia Tech lost everybody, and we expected to win that game, especially at home, even with, the fact that we have our point guard out and we have, one of our supposedly better forwards out, for at least a couple of months with the season. We had 2 freshman point guards in there. And to be honest with you, I started watching the game. I was actually in Columbia that night and for a conference, and they looked really good in the first half. I was really impressed. I was like, man, these guys don't look like freshmen. Chase Hunter, especially, really athletic, looked like he had a really good stroke. And then the second half came along, and they just fell off the map. It's like, this is what they were supposed to look like, this whole game. But they kind of tricked us in the first half, acting like they were going to be these all-world type players, and then they kind of hit that wall in the second half. So hopefully they can kind of knock that out of their system there. Disappointing loss to say the least. To kind of start the season off that way, you wanted to beat those teams in the bottom half of the ACC because Clemson's going to kind of be fighting for around the middle, you would think anyway. So it was a big rebound win against Presbyterian. I got to see that game. The three-point line was really heating up there for sure. Clemson was shooting really well from the outside. I did not get to see the Colgate win. I saw that they won the game, obviously. But I was really hoping to take it, through November undefeated. Like you said, obviously it's your goal. Your goal is to go undefeated for the whole season, right? I mean, it should be. You want to win every game you play. But the Virginia Tech one was really disappointing for sure. But hopefully they can get past that. I really think they can make some noise in the league this year once those freshman guards get a little more acclimated to the ACC game. So I'm really, really looking forward to what they got for the rest of the year.
I am not on the Fire Brad Brownell train this year. I think the problem is you got a lot of people with opinions that don't even watch the games. You don't come to us. You don't watch our videos because we know our views about basketball are low. Like not even half of our football videos, basketball can't even get half of our football videos. So we know you don't watch our basketball videos. But when we do our basketball videos, there's only a few people that watch. And I think you got to watch the games. You got to support them. You got to know what's going on and know what Brad Brownell's dealing with. Hey, Tevin Mack, he's doing really good this year. He's starting to show up and show out every single game, been very consistent. Mm-hmm. John Newman, a guy, I've been very skeptical of. He's been pretty consistent starting the year off. He's been a scoring leader for 2 games, and I'm really excited about what he can do. Now, Alamir Dawes, a true freshman, a guy that Brad Brownell recruited, that everybody says Brad Brownell can't recruit. Well, he recruited away a graduate, Tevin Mack. He recruited Curran Scott, who can shoot. He recruited Alex Hemingway, but he's hurt now, but he can shoot. He recruited Dawes and Hunter, who are 2 starters on this team. So I say, this year we know there's low expectations, but I think it's a good thing. I think this team doesn't need all that pressure. They just need to learn how to grow and play as one and get into maybe next year as a bunch of sophomores that can really just be very confident in who they are as a team. So I'm not on that train right now.
Yeah, I'm not either. I haven't been for a while. I know my buddy Marty, like you said, he kind of gives me a hard time about that. I tell him every year, ACC Coach of the Year, Brad Brownell. And whether I think so or not, it's tough. People say this all the time about Clemson basketball, but they always use the term snake bit when it comes to Brad Brownell. And I don't think anything could be more true. I mean, this guy deals with so many injuries. It's absolutely insane how many ACLs seem to snap on the Clemson courts. It's unbelievable, and Clyde Trapp was going to be a huge piece. You cannot have freshman guards come in the ACC. And of course, we end up with 2 freshman guards because one doesn't clear his waiver and one snaps his ACL. So now we have no point guard, and they're going to have to get used to it in kind of the battles of the ACC. So it's kind of tough for them. And of course, Jonathan Bayer was one of our guys who was supposed to be a big impact guy this year. They really love the upside of that guy. And same thing, with him. It's just unbelievable. But I'm definitely not on that train. He's actually got an influx of good talent coming in. He's recruited a couple of great guys for the following season. So I'm really looking forward to what he can do. I think his recruiting is on the uptick, and I want to see where he can go. I like Brad Brownell as a person, not just a coach. So hopefully he can pull the Tigers forward and get us where we want to go.
And that leads me to let you know that, hey, we're not just pretty faces here. We dress for success as well. And I didn't get to our second second segment sponsor, but our second segment sponsor is Tiger Sports Shop over in Clemson and tigersports.com. I'm wearing one of their Columbia Clemson Tiger orange polos. I love their golf polos. They're real breathable and comfortable. And, they supply, they're exclusive supplier of the show. So we're always trying to support them. They've got their own line, not just Columbia, not just Nike, but they have their own line of clothing. And that's what Alan is supporting right now, that polo from the Tiger Sports Shop exclusive apparel line. Yeah,
absolutely. Don't worry about it. I wasn't going to let you forget. Okay. I feel this polo breathing on me as we speak. Okay. I absolutely love it. It's their own brand. Like you said, the Tiger Sports Shop brand. It's a great polo. I absolutely love it. And it's kind of one of those things. It's the same quality, more affordable price. It's kind of one of the things they're pushing with their new brand. It's good stuff. Not that you can go wrong with any of the other brands they have, the Cutter and Buck, the Antigua, and that kind of thing there. But the Tiger Sports Shop brand is very good. Give them a shot. You can go to the downtown location of the US 123 bypass, but they'll definitely treat you right for sure.